A nation of immigrants. That is the unofficial title of the USA. However, in recent years, immigration has become one of the biggest political issues in America.
Thousands of migrants from Central America are gathering in Guatemala for an expected push north towards the United States.
It's here that residents say that they can see people as they get ready to cross the water. They say it's been happening for years, but what's alarming to them is how the frequency has increased over the last 6 months.
But people who know the details of what is going on right now feel very differently, and they are worried. Brandon Judd runs the Border Patrol Union. We do not test the illegal aliens we release, Judd told the show.
For me, I don't care about the politics. I care about the reasons, the motivations, the stories people have to come to our country. And it's because of those reasons that I'm here now. I want to ask you about my great-great-grandfather, your grandfather, Johann Sinnhuber. I want to ask you, what is his story?
He grew up in Kustendorf, Austria, which is about 25 miles northeast of Salzburg, Austria. When he grew up, he went to Salzburg and worked as a waiter in the Gasthaus zum Mohren. He also served in the Army Reserves of the Infantry Regiment, 59th Rainier Regiment. In July of 31, the Austrian Army was mobilized because of actions down in Serbia. August of 31st, he was in battle in Lemberg. That was the town in which he entered combat with the Russians, and he was captured. So on about September 8th, they were loaded up on cattle cars, about 20 cattle cars, and railroaded to Siberia. They were put into a prison camp. There were 12,000 prisoners, although the prison camps weren't very friendly in Siberia. There was a lot of angst, there was depression, there was disease, there was lack of clothes, there was PTSD, and these people were living normal lives, and 2 months later, 3 months later, they were in a prison camp in the middle of nowhere with the food was deplorable, etc. So Sinnhuber volunteered for a work camp, and he worked from spring through summer into October of 1915. And so they would go out, and their work party would go out and work. He laid back because the Russians weren't real accountable for the people, and he and Neudlinger took off. It took them about a week to navigate and circumvent villages and hamlets, to stay away from the Chinese because they didn't know if they're friendly or not. And they, through some guidance from some cooperative Chinese, they finally came upon My San Fu. And they were in My San Fu they spent a Christmas there. The weather was freezing. They had to wait for lakes and the rivers to freeze over. They got a police escort and went over another mountain range which had Chinese bandits in there, wolves, bears, so they had to go as a guarded element through the mountain range to Mukden. And then from Mukden they gathered their resources, got clothes, money, etc., and then they arrived in Tientsin, China on Easter Sunday. He became part of the Kriegsmarine, the embassy Marine Guard, and he did that for a couple of months, He also worked for the Austrian Red Cross and sent parcels of care packages to prisoners in the different camps that Sinnhuber remembered. And then Sinnhuber also went to work for a German contractor rebuilding chimneys and temples. He had a choice of what to do with his life. He could stay in China for the duration of the war. He could go back and fight in the war. They would have shipped him back to Germany, or he could go to America. So he made the decision that it would be best to, because of the conditions, the deplorable conditions, lack of medical care, etc. in China, that it would be best to sit the war out in America. The embassy people told Sinnhuber and those that were ready to go to America to get aboard and go. So he went to Shanghai and boarded a boat in Shanghai and came to America through Japan, Hawaii, and then into San Francisco, where he had to go through Angel Island.
The immigrant experience. So many families hear the stories of their ancestors' risks and sacrifices. This is the story of mine. And so many people are making those stories right now. People leaving their homes and traveling across the world just so they can have a chance at a better life. Why don't we let them?